made an album for $4,500, turned into over $45 million.
Wow. You won 3 Grammys?
3 Grammys, yeah. We won the first one. We walked off stage and they was like, hold up, y'all nominated for 2 more. Call our names again. And they call our name again. I work hard 24 hours a day almost. But sometimes I don't go to the studio for a month or months. But when I go in there, I might go in there for 2 weeks straight and knock out an album.
What do you think the greatest accomplishment that you've given to music is?
Changing the sound of music. The biggest mistake that people make in the music industry is getting these big upfront advances, doing all these concerts and making all this money, and not remembering that only probably 25% of your money is really yours to use.
Share some challenges when you started.
To be honest, we didn't really have no challenges.
DJ Paul.
What's up?
Welcome to the podcast.
Man, thanks for having me.
Man, I've been hearing so many great things about you from Yellow Wolf and Edward Crow and Struggle and kind of the whole crew.
Yeah.
And
Liars!
There we go. But glad you're finally, I got to finally hang out with you.
Yeah, man, same thing, man. Edward Tucker, I call him Ounce.
Yep.
Is it cool if I call him Ounce?
Oh, sure, Ounce.
There you go, Ounce. He talked good about you, man, and I'm glad we could make it happen. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy to be over here.
Big year this year. You won, was it 3 Grammys?
3 Grammys, yeah.
Now, what's that like? You know, you coming from Memphis, you know, you built your career kind of like a legendary, not kind of, a legendary career. And, you know, the biggest award, at least to me, is the Grammys. You didn't just win 1, you won 3. What's that like?
Yeah, man, it was amazing, man. I couldn't believe it, you know, when we won the first one that night. And then we walked off stage and they was like, hold up, y'all nominated for 2 more. You never know, you might win. I was like, what? Then they called our names again. Then we walked off stage and they like, hold up. Then they called our name again. I was like, God, this is crazy, you know. And it was amazing because, you know, growing up, I won the Oscar before, obviously, you know, 2006. You know, I didn't see that coming. But I didn't even know what an Oscar was because that's for actors and people in the TV, and obviously I wasn't in the TV. So won the Oscar, and, you know, I was happy with that. But, you know, on the inside, I still wanted a Grammy because, you know, I'm a musician.
Yep.
So, you know, and then it happens, you know, like, took me almost a half 100 years, but it happened.
Yeah, most people don't get it in their, you know, musicians don't even get it in their entire life. So
yeah,
it's a major award. We actually went out there for Jelly. He was nominated.
Yeah,
and we
I was
Jelly.
there. That was Jelly was there the same day.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see him, but yeah.
Yeah, so it was cool kind of seeing it all unfold and seeing kind of Tennessee guys, you know, be nominated or win the big award.
Yeah.
So when did you start? Like you started DJing when you were a kid, correct?
Yeah, like 1990.
1990.
10th grade-ish. Yeah, so yeah, a long time ago. So this right here make like 34 years for us.
Wow. Yeah. Well, what was it like 1990, kind of when you started? What was the hip-hop scene like?
Man, it was just starting to crank up in Memphis. It was going crazy. We had guys like DJ Spanish Fly, you know, DJ BK and Sonny D, rest in peace. And man, those guys they like they was Spanish Fly. He like started like the whole thing was kind of going on with a lot of stuff out here. So the cool part about him is he was a DJ that DJ'd in all of the popping clubs in Memphis, but he also rapped. So he made beats, DJ'd, and rapped. And I modeled myself behind him. I still talk to him, and coincidentally, we ended up finding out we got the same birthday.
Oh, wow.
So now we celebrate our birthdays together sometime. But he's, you know, he's way older than me. And I would see him like at the stores and stuff, when I would go to the keyboard stores and just be looking around. I would see him in there looking at keyboards and buying keyboards and stuff, and I'd be like, God damn it, that's Spanish Fly. But yeah, so to answer your question, the Memphis music scene was popping then with the rap. It was only like 2 or 3 of them, but the city was playing them in heavy rotation on the radio. It just so happened to have local talent, you know, come out and rap then, and they supported it to the fullest. And still today, Memphis support the hell out of they rappers.
That's awesome.
They don't really listen to rappers out of town except Memphis rappers, or in rappers out of town that sound like Memphis rappers, which is basically everybody these days.
So you were 11 though when you started DJing. Is that correct?
No, I wasn't 11.
Oh, you weren't 11. How?
I was 12 when I started trying.
Okay.
When I started trying, I was 11. But when I first went in the studio to start making a EP, I was in like the 10th grade.
And when you started, what was the goal? So like your mindset was, I'm going to be the biggest DJ in the world, or I just want to do it locally, or what were you thinking then?
I didn't really have a goal, to be honest. I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it works better that way.
It can, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, not always. I'm not saying I don't have goals in life.
Yeah.
But, it's good to have goals, but sometimes you can jinx it if you got goals. Like I see people come in the studio because I produce a lot of people. I make beats for a lot of people and write for a lot of people. And they'll be like, man, look, we're going to win an Oscar with this one too. We're going to win a Grammy with this one too. I'm like, look, dude, when I won an Oscar and a Grammy, I didn't even know what an Oscar was.
Right.
It was the last thing on my mind.
Yep.
I was more trying to think of what strip club I was going to go to that night.
Right.
I just happened to get a call in the morning and said I was nominated for an Oscar. So, sometimes it ain't like, I obviously have some sort of a goal, like be like I want to, I want to do good in this. I want to be successful in this or that.
Sure.
But you can't really count your eggs before they hatch, count your chickens before they hatch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Were you very passionate about it though?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I grew up in a musical family.
Okay.
My uncles had a gospel group called the Bogart Brothers.
Okay.
So I grew up around music.
Okay. Yeah. So you're passionate about it. Yeah. A lot of times when you're passionate, you don't have goals. You just love what you're doing, and then you make a great product, based off of that passion.
Well, that's where it comes from. That's the difference between somebody loving what they do and somebody just doing it because they see somebody else successful with it. It don't really happen like that when that be the problem with a lot of musicians. They especially rappers, probably only or mostly rappers, is they want it because they see guys with nice girls and Rolls Royces and whatnot on a video. Mm-hmm. They just don't know that shit is rented. You know what I'm saying? But and that's the reason why they want it. And sometimes it works.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works because it worked for me like that, but not looking at videos because I knew that was fake.
Yeah,
it worked for me watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous with Robin Leach.
Yeah,
who I actually got a chance to hang out with a bunch of times before he passed away in Las Vegas.
Oh, nice.
So that show, and I probably got drunk when I used to drink. Got drunk for sure, every time I hung out with him and told him that story.
Nice.
How I was 12 years old watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous on a black and white TV.
Yeah, man. It's amazing when you're a kid or younger and don't have, a lot of money, or I grew up without a lot of money, and I would see certain things like, what I want to have that one day.
Yeah.
And then, you're talking about passion. My experience, I used to train professional fighters. I did that for a long time. And, when I lost my passion for it and I wasn't really making that much money in the training aspect, I had a big gym, but like when fighters go to the UFC, you really don't make that much. I was like, it's time to do something else.
Yeah.
And I think passion really is underrated for what it takes to be, successful. If you weren't passionate with what you're doing, you wouldn't, after 35 years, basically, you wouldn't still be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. If you want passion, you go get a cat. But you want to pay the bills, man. You gotta really be into it, and it gotta be something that's really for you, and you gotta really like doing it. Like you say, you when you lost the passion for it, it's time to go.
Time to go, man. You think about the hours too. So if you weren't passionate with music, and I find this with a lot of my friends that are in music, like you can sit for hours and grind it out, and in many ways it doesn't feel like work because you're just in it. This is what you love to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if I'm not making music, I'm sitting up watching tutorials on how to make music.
Yes.
Even though I know how to make music, I still want to learn as much as I can or stay updated on the new equipment.
Yeah, you think about with the other musicians, let's say in hip hop, they do see like shiny objects and say, I want that. But at least what I hear from Wolf and Struggle and Jelly, it was the grind of being in the studio for hours, constantly doing music, just being super focused and doing what you love, but just not stopping. Would you say that your work ethic has been like that as well?
What, when I said it, working a lot?
Yeah, just like to where you're just grinding it out. You're in the studio. You're just always doing music and not taking kind of the easy road on, I'm just not going to work, or I want these things, but I'm not willing to do what it takes to get there.
Oh, no. Yeah, I work hard, but now I'm going to tell you one thing that I do. Mm-hmm. I work hard, super hard, like 24 hours a day almost. But I don't work. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't go in the studio if I'm not feeling it. Mm-hmm. If I'm not feeling it, so some people be like a lot of people, they talk about the music I make and the beats I make, and they be like, man, how many beats you make a day? And I be like, bro, sometimes I don't go to the studio for a month or months.
Yep.
But when I go in there, I might go in there for 2 weeks straight and knock out an album.
Yep.
The whole time I'm working, I'm building up stuff. Like I might make a piano loop over here and put it to the side. I might don't touch it for another 3 or 4 years, and I might make some drums over here or record. I record a lot of stuff in my phone. And then, when it's that time, I go in and I start putting all of it together, and I just knock it out.
Yeah.
But I don't do like some people do where they're just in the studio every day grinding, every day grinding. Like, I wish I could do that. Yeah. If I did that, I'd probably be a billionaire.
Right.
But I don't do that. Like, if it ain't for me, I don't do it. I heard Isaac Hayes was like that. I don't know how true it was, but I knew a guy that was an engineer for him that was once an engineer for me, and he said, like, Isaac Hayes was like that. Like, if Isaac Hayes wasn't feeling it that day, he'll tell everybody, go home.
Yep.
Like, go home. And, and keep in mind, Isaac Hayes was in a studio back in those days. It was, I don't know, probably costing $5,000 a day or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He
wasn't at home recording in an iPhone like some of these kids do these days, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like that. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to go waste the engineer's time or my time or none of that.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. So ninth grade or so, you started, DJing, in clubs or out in the public. What was the evolution to where, you started 3-6 Mafia and actually, started making good money doing something like this?
Was basically what happened is I started making mixtapes in high school, and I was selling them at high school. That was the only place I had to sell them. And then I would mix other people's songs, but then I would mix in like 1 or 2 songs of mine, and just to test it out and see what people thought, to see if they would talk crap about it or not. I would mix it in between like some LL Cool J and some NWA and some good shit. And I did that all the way up from volume 1 up to volume 16. But I started getting popular way before volume 16. I started getting super popular around volume 10.
Okay.
Excuse me. And then volume 16 was the one that blew me up, and that was in 1994.
Okay.
And so I was out of high school by then. And 1995 is when we made our first 3-6 Mafia album. And that's when we started making like big money. But I was already making good money off the mixtapes, because when I was out of school, I started selling them in stereo stores. I was selling them in stereo stores, and they couldn't keep them. They were selling them so fast. We was only selling them for $4 a piece, but we said thousands of them.
Yep.
So, and, I was young. I was a teenager. So, we're selling these tapes for $4, selling thousands of tapes. And, I had nice cars and all that, Those when I started making money, but I started making the big money in 95.
Yeah, what was that like? 95, you start 3-6 Mafia. Was that the year you started it?
No, 3-6 Mafia would have started in like 92.
Okay. So you had it for 3 years. You're working, you're putting your different mixtapes together. 95, what was the catalyst that, caused that success?
Well, we got a distribution deal.
Okay.
So it went from selling it in the stereo stores to selling it in the real record stores. But what I did was I took the mixtapes and I told them how good they sold in the stereo stores, and I told them to try them in the real local record stores that we had, which was a store called Pop Tunes, which short for Popular Tunes, and they did good. And then they called a local distributor, which was a guy named Johnny Phillips, who was the son of Sam Phillips that had Elvis Presley. And he was like, hey, these dudes are selling tapes like crazy over here. You should check them out. And he called us in for a meeting. And he was like, hey, I'll give you guys a distribution deal if y'all want to sell your tapes all over the country and possibly the world. He said, I can't give you no money up front because I don't know enough about rap. I don't know what this is going to do. It might don't do shit. I said, look, we got the money. I said, you just give us the outlet and we'll take it from there.
Yep.
And I walked out the door. And we went and made an album for $4,500, and that turned into over $45 million.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
What's that like, growing up in Memphis and all of a sudden being a millionaire? Not just a little bit, eight-figure millionaire.
It was cool. It was really cool. Like, I was the first person to have a Rolls-Royce Phantom.
Nice.
Everybody used to trip. Just had a Maybach. Man, it was crazy. We was having a blast, man. It was, building houses from scratch and just living life.
Yeah, you think you were the biggest celebrity in Memphis at the time?
I for sure was the biggest celebrity in Memphis at the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's got to be wild. I mean, growing up in an area, like growing up in Nashville for me, and then, you were around, 20 years old-ish.
Yeah.
Just blowing up, and all of a sudden you're the most famous person in Memphis. Yeah. You're a millionaire.
Yeah.
What's going on in your mind there? So what are you thinking? Like,
just more. Mm-hmm. So we started we started putting out like 2 albums a year, but not 3 6 Mafia. We would put out other people. We would break up 3 6 Mafia, like not fully. We took out the girl, Gangsta Boo, which her birthday was yesterday. Rest in peace, Gangsta Boo. I met Yellow Wolf through Gangsta Boo. She was the girl in our group. Mm-hmm. So we would make solo albums on her. She made about 3 solo albums through us. And we'd make a 3 6 Mafia album, a Gangsta Boo solo album, a Project Pat solo album, and we had a couple of other guys with us that we made solo albums on. And we would turn out like 2 albums a year all the way up to maybe like 2000, 2001. Mm-hmm. And then that's when people started to kind of fall off and, this and that. And the crew started to skim down. And it went to like maybe 1 3 6 Mafia album every 3 years.
Okay. When you say people fell off, you mean people in the group?
Yeah, in the group.
Yeah.
Because 3 6 Mafia was a crew back in the day.
Okay.
It was called 666 Mafia, and it was like 20 of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Non-alcoholic.
All right. Yeah. I'm a big wine drinker, so.
You are?
Oh, yeah.
I love wine.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, I'm 10 months off the real wine.
Okay. That's good. Yeah. That's good. I got some there, but in the house, got a 12-foot wine display that we're putting in there. And it's going to be a good little collection.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Put some non-alcoholic in there.
Okay, I will. I'll have a DJ Paul Rowe for you.
There you go. It's getting really popular. Like you're starting to see it in restaurants.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I went to a restaurant in East Nashville yesterday. They had non-alcoholic wine.
That's good. Yeah, I haven't been able to give it up, man. I've thought about you know what? That's pretty much all I drink. Yeah. I don't really drink, liquor or anything like that very much.
Yeah, you don't have to give it up because you got a you got a job that you really got to be focused for. You probably get up early in the morning. When you're a musician, it's harder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why so many musicians have addiction, entertainers period, have addiction issues because they don't really have a 9 to 5.
That's right.
They might make an album for 1 month a year, and the rest of the year they just sit at home.
Yeah, well, you're in the studio, you're drinking.
Yeah,
you're on the road, you're drinking.
Yeah,
this is all part of because it's all party.
Yeah,
in a way.
But when you have like your own businesses, companies where you got to get up and you got to make sure you watching over other people and you got to make sure they doing their thing. It's like, you're not going to be drinking and doing that.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So, but if you just fussing at a studio engineer, you can drink and do that.
Right.
More bass, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, over COVID, man, I was starting to like, I'll generally drink wine, 7, 8 o'clock, couple glasses, before bed. I love really good wine. I, have a collection of stuff. And over COVID, it was a little earlier, and I had to catch myself. I'm like, okay, I can't be drinking at 4.
Yeah.
I can't be doing this a little early. So,
Yeah.
but the wine is, I love it, man.
Yeah, I love wine. I went to the wine capital. What's the name?
Napa?
Napa. You've been there? I'm sure you've been there.
I actually have not been to Napa.
What?
I know, man.
You got to go to Napa. It's so fun.
Yeah.
You just go to all these different big mansions up in the mountains, and you sit there and you eat like cheese and snacks and salamis, and they just let you taste all of the wines. And you do like, man, one day I did probably like 5 or 6 different mansions in one day.
Nice.
And shush.
A lot of wine.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I've been down to the Valle de Guadalupe in Mexico. It's about an hour and a half south of Tijuana. And so, but yeah, I probably started drinking wine like 6 or 7 years ago. And, I just grind with work. So, haven't really had a week to take to go to Napa, but it is actually a dream. I collect wine, and I know a lot about them, but yeah, I haven't taken the time to actually do a proper vacation.
What I did was when I went to Napa, I found the ones I like, and I started getting them to ship it to me in California.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you probably do the same thing too.
Yeah, I need to do the wine tour though, in Napa for sure. It's like it is a dream.
Yeah,
but
it's so amazing.
So okay, 2000 to 2001, the crew kind of got smaller, and you started doing one album a year. So what was?
No, it was like more than. It was more. Well, as far as 3 6 Mafia, it was like one album every 3 years.
Every 3 years.
Yeah, like 3 years. 3 years, 2 to 3 years. But we would do other stuff in between there. Like we still do Project Pat albums. Mm-hmm. That was about it.
Yeah. So when the song "Stay Fly" came out, what around what year was that?
2005.
2005. Yeah, I remember I had bought a Range Rover. It's my first really nice car.
Yeah.
And it was when that song had just come out. And I would drive my Range Rover, listen to that song over and over and over, man.
Me too. I've had every Range Rover. I love Range Rovers.
Yeah.
I was the same time you was riding in a Range Rover listening to that, I was doing the same.
You remember when the new body style of the Range Rover came out around that time? It was
yeah.
Man, I thought that was the best freaking vehicle on the planet.
I think it was like 6 or something when it came out. The funny part about Range Rover is they used to be really terrible. Mm-hmm. And they got better when Ford bought them.
Yep.
Which I didn't understand that because, we always crack jokes like found on the road dead.
Yep.
Talking about Ford, but then they get behind Range Rover and they make it nice.
Yeah. No, that's good though. I mean, yeah, because that is the MO for Range Rovers. They're always going to break down.
Yeah.
I sold mine when it had about 50,000 miles just to be safe.
Yeah. That's a good time.
What have you seen the new Cybertrucks or driven a new Cybertruck?
Yeah, I saw the one you got outside, and I saw yellows. I thought about getting one of those, but I changed my mind. But I did think about it. For one, I don't buy cars.
Okay.
Now, I did buy my Rolls Royce. I bought my Rolls Royce because I just want to retire with a Rolls Royce.
Sure.
Yeah, like when it's all over, I bought that. I've had 8 Rolls Royces, but the last one I bought it, and I was like, this will be the car that'll sit in my driveway when I'm dead and gone. Because like in Memphis, there's a famous producer named Willie Mitchell.
Okay.
He produced Al Green.
Okay, nice.
And I used to always ride by his house. He had a big, nice house in Memphis, white house with a old school white Rolls Royce in the front. I'm talking about old school, like the one on Scarface when he got killed at the end. And he's dead and gone. And that Rolls Royce still sits in that driveway.
Really?
You can ride by that house and see that Rolls Royce in that driveway. I know his family really good. And I'd be like, man, that's how I want to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice house with a Rolls Royce parked in front of it.
And they keep it after I'm dead.
Yeah, no, my son have been unmade. My son will keep it, but he'll make it into like a spaceship or something.
Oh, nice.
He into shit like that. But yeah, whatever he want to do with it,
Yeah.
it'll be there for him. But other than that, all the rest of my cars, I lease them.
Okay.
And, lease them through the company, write it off.
Yeah.
So when they didn't let me lease the Cybertruck, I gave up on that. I was like, no, I'm not finna buy this. Hell no. Like, you buy Ferraris, certain Porsches, Lamborghinis, really. I mean, you could buy a Cybertruck, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, I'm always looking for tax breaks. So if it's over 6,000 pounds, I can write the whole thing off.
Yeah.
So basically, I think like 130,000, and I'm saving 39.5% on 130,000 on my taxes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I always look for tax breaks. I look for that too, but the most important thing to me in life, period, is resale. I think about, before I buy anything, I think about, can I resell it if shit was to hit the fan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Always. I don't give a fuck if it's a pair of underwear. I think about, can I resell these polo boxes if times get really hard?
Yep.
Like, probably can. They keep the elastic pretty good. And, I think about everything, so. And I thought about it with the Cybertruck. I was like, man, could I sell us? Like, I don't, maybe not.
Yeah, that I don't know. It might just drop.
It's already dropped.
Oh, is it?
They talked about it last week, how it made a huge drop.
Yeah.
But it's a cool truck.
It's cool. It's fast, man.
Yeah, it's fast. All the Tesla's fast.
Yeah, they are. This was 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, and it's got 845 horsepower. It's like, I've never driven anything like it.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
Have you driven or had other Teslas?
I had the sedan when it first came out in 2012.
Yeah. I think it's a bad vehicle.
I loved it.
Yeah, man.
I loved it. You could plug it up and come outside and it's updated itself.
Yep.
Also cool shit. I love Teslas, man. People can talk all the shit they want about Tesla.
Oh, man.
I love them.
This is the first one I've had. And I mean, I was keeping an open mind, but it's the best car I've ever driven. I had it like 3 weeks. I'm like, I've driven nothing like this Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Like the turning radius. Let's say you're turning left, the front tires, of course, will go left, while the back tires will turn right.
Yeah, so the new Hummer do that too.
Yep, heard that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a Cybertruck if they was to ever lease them, or if I caught one. No, I wouldn't buy one. I'm lying. If they would ever start leasing them, I probably would get one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, maybe.
It's wild, man. I mean, the whole electric vehicle thing. I like gas too. I got that CLS 63 out there. And that's got about 600 horsepower, super fast. And there's something about the gas that, I just like.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, it does feel good.
What I don't like about gas cars is stopping at gas stations.
That's right, man.
I hate gas stations.
I do too.
I hate gas stations. But if you think about a charging station, you'll love a gas station.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Well, the charging station is like 40 minutes.
Well, I would never have this to drive long distances. No. I got that little charging thing outside.
Yeah, if you're in a house and you're not going to be, because like when I had my Tesla, I was going back and forth from my house in Vegas to my house in LA. Mm-hmm. So it's like a little area behind an Applebee's that's halfway in Baker or whatever that little town is, start with a B. I think it's Baker. And you park behind an Applebee's. So me, I like to, when I would go back and forth to Vegas to LA, I would drive like 3, 4 in the morning when there's nobody else out. Mm-hmm. So, you behind an Applebee's in a small town of maybe 5,000 people in a brand new Tesla for 45 minutes with just you and 2 puppies and a Glock.
You're like, what's going on?
It'd make you be like, damn, I wish I had a gas station right now, man.
Exactly.
And anybody that live in LA know what gas station and what charging station I'm talking about.
Yeah. Man, it's interesting, man. The long distances doesn't work for it. I mean, who wants to sit for 40 minutes? But like I said, for the city.
But yeah, for city, and if you got a house or a charging station at your apartment, and you can charge and get out and run your errands, go to the office, studio, whatever, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah,
and never got to go to the gas station.
No, it is, man. It is, and it's pretty cheap too. I mean, obviously you're saving all the money on gas.
Yeah.
But so you were saying your first one of your first shows was at TSU back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's been like your relationship coming to Nashville?
Man, I love coming to Nashville. I've been coming here since 94, 95, and I'm always here, you know, doing something for Young Buck or Yellow Wolf. And, you know, we discovered Jelly Roll back in the day. I haven't had a chance to do any music with him since we discovered him in 2010, but we've toured together.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So I love coming to Nashville because it's like family here. I actually got some blood family here, a nephew.
Oh, nice.
So love coming here. It's a beautiful place. I love the growth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I watched this place change. You know, coming here in 1994, 95, looking at stuff, and then when I ride down the street now and I see these same areas that looks totally different. It's a big modern house. It's all black or all yellow, all blue.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, this place changed.
Changed a lot.
And I saw a big change in 2020. Yeah, I saw some stuff change in 2020.
Yeah.
Because a lot of old bars and stuff closed down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
There was a lot that closed down. I mean, so this house, for instance, I got in 2012. And, they wanted a specific price for the house, which was too much at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the price that you want if you give me the terms that I want. I want a 5-year lease option with the option to purchase it for their price anytime over that 5 years. So I could kind of see what the market was doing. In 2008, shit hit the fan with the real estate market. So I'd lost a lot from that. So I was still a little gun shy. And
that's a good deal. They let you do that.
Oh yeah. So price or terms.
Mm-hmm.
You want this crazy high price, give me my terms and we'll see. Mm-hmm. And so the market did do good. You know, 2017, it appreciated past that. So, you know, we purchased it. But in the meantime, we were working on the hospital. We opened the hospital August 15th, 2015. And so I didn't want to pay this rent at first and then mortgage afterwards while I'm in Mexico 99% of the time. So we got a zoning change to the city, or a special exception to the city, to do 120 events a year. And so we did weddings and events, at the property for those years. And then 2020 happened, and COVID, and I had to give. I mean, it was a nightmare for the wedding industry because we had to give all these deposits back. And so after that, I was coming to Nashville a lot more. I'm like, screw it. I'm not gonna, I didn't want to have a wedding at my house when I'm here, So it did make sense. But yeah, COVID basically shut down the business aspect of what this was, back in the day. It changed a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, COVID changed it changed the world, obviously.
It did, man. What do you did it affect your touring?
Yeah, it affected everybody's touring. But the thing about me is I wasn't touring a lot, because 3 6 Mafia, well, I take that back. 3 6 Mafia did, our first 3 6 Mafia broke up in around 2012. Well, it was 2012. We broke up, we stopped working together. And we got back together in 2019, September. We did 2 concerts, 2 sold out concerts, 8,000 people. Actually, one of them was even bigger than that. And it was in Atlanta. I think it was 40,000 people. The one in outside of Memphis was 8,000 people. And we did 2 concerts. And then it was like, oh, shit, the group is back. We was getting more money than we've ever got for a concert, And then 2020 happened. And all the concerts that we had booked for 3 6 Mafia then, which wasn't a lot, probably like 5 or 6, all those got pushed back.
Yeah.
So now, some of those, I think we're just starting to redo, But as far as a solo artist, I wasn't touring a lot. What I would do every year is a college tour. So I was doing these colleges, and in 2020, I still did those. The college kids didn't care.
Yeah.
I remember being in Lubbock, Texas at Texas Tech in the heart of 2020. Rapping on stage, I had my friend, shout out to Henry Mass, Memphis, Tennessee. I had them to make me a see-through mask.
Oh, nice.
It was a green see-through mask where you could see my grill and all that. And I was on stage rapping, and I would jump out in the crowd, and I'm hanging with these kids, and I rap with a mask on the whole time.
Yeah, that's That's wild, man. That's
Yeah,
wild
it's
that
crazy.
they had everybody wearing masks. We actually just going through something at the hospital. Got off a call today about it that COVID is making a comeback right now in America, which whatever. But
I know people sick right now as we speak.
yeah, and they so our doctors, as of this morning, are all wearing masks now with the patients. I'm like, man, not again.
Yeah.
Not again.
Yeah, but I never stopped wearing. I was actually wearing masks before COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was wearing masks before COVID. Because I just was I never liked the smell of car exhaust and smoke and stuff like that. Even though I did smoke, and that's one thing I said. Like, that's one thing about smoking. Like, not the smell of marijuana. The smell of marijuana ain't bad, but the smell of Black and Milds and cigarettes. Mm-hmm. If you are not the person that's physically smoking that, you are pissing off everybody around you. It's only cool to the person that's doing it at that time.
Yeah.
I used to smoke Black and Milds back in the days. I loved them.
Yeah.
But man, if you was to smoke fire one right now, I'd run up out of the city.
Yeah.
I fucking hate the smell of it. So I was always like that. Like, because a long time ago, like my dad had got sick from smoking cigars. He pulled through it, but he had got sick from smoking cigars, and that just kind of put a thing in me being a child, seeing him go through that. So I don't really like it.
When you think about growing up, man, smoking was everywhere. You could smoke in restaurants. You could smoke in a plane.
Everywhere.
It was just so normal.
Everywhere. I went to that restaurant. I think most of them probably out of business now. It's a restaurant, big restaurant. Called the Ivy. You remember that restaurant?
Is it in L.A.?
Yeah, it's in L.A.,
I do.
New York, a lot of places.
Yep.
They had this big $100 lobster.
Oh, shit.
It's like a whole lobster they bring out on the table. And, man, I went to the Ivy in New York once, and the front side of it was a bar where you could smoke. You couldn't smoke in the restaurant, but the front part you could smoke, and you know how New York City loved cigarettes back then. And man, this was before 9/11. When 9/11 happened, I think after 9/11 was when they stopped the smoking in there. Or something happened. I think it probably was 9/11. Something happened and they cut out the smoking. But I went in that restaurant before they cut out the smoking, and I had to walk out. It was crazy.
Oh man,
this whole bar was packed with dudes drinking and smoking cigarettes indoors.
Yeah, man.
And then Yellow Wolf took me to a pool alley, not a pool hall, bowling alley, pool hall. He took me to a pool hall somewhere, over here somewhere. Actually, I think it's right behind here.
8th Avenue. Yep.
He took me to a pool hall one night. Man, they was in there smoking. I left straight out.
Yeah, man.
I was like, dude, I can't do this. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. And I think that we just lived like that for so long. Both my parents smoked, so. Growing up in the house, they smoked a lot. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was normal. But now I can't stand the smell. Your clothes smell like it. Everything smells like it. Yeah. And like you said, weed ain't bad, but like especially cigarettes for me.
I hate it.
Smells.
I hate it. If I walk outside and somebody's standing outside the mall or a restaurant or whatever smoking cigarettes, I just walk around. I'm like, do your thing, but I'm gonna go around this way because I just don't like the smell of it.
Yeah. Times have changed for the better on that end. That's for sure. Share some challenges and breakthroughs you experienced when you started 3-6 Mafia. Man, be honest, we didn't really have no challenges. It was unbelievably so smooth because we did so good with the mixtapes that when the albums came out, we're talking about I was doing maybe 2 mixtapes a year. Yeah, maybe more when you think about it. From 2011 from 1991 to 1994, I got from 1990. From 1990 to 94, I brought out 16 mixtapes. So I was dropping them like hotcakes. And there was a ton of promotion, especially because the age I was in. I'm selling them. I'm at school selling these mixtapes to kids in 11th and 12th grade. Mm-hmm. It was a perfect timing. Yep.
Because they graduated.
Yep.
And that's how we ended up at TSU.
Nice.
They graduated and they went to these colleges.
Oh, yeah.
And TSU's being so close to Memphis, it was full of Memphis people.
Yep.
And they went to these colleges and they was like, man, you are not going to believe these dudes' music.
Yep.
And they would let people hear it. Somebody from Denver, Colorado would be like, what is that?
Yep.
And I would always get stories. Still today, I hear stories about, man, I'll never forget my roommate stole your CD when I was in college, stole your cassette tape, man. I was so mad. They would steal them from them and take them to other cities. Man. And it just built. So
kind of went viral.
Yeah, it went viral.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, before such things as internet or whatever. So the reach was out there. So once we brought out our first album, the one I told you we put the $4,500 behind, Mystic Styles, it hit Billboard with no promotion.
Really?
It was number 98 out of 100, but
still,
it still was good, you know. Yeah. We hit Billboard, and I was like, what? And then 96, we brought out our second album, and it debuted at Billboard at number 40. You know, nice. The only promotion we was doing was just going down to Freaknik and passing out free CDs and gluing posters, staple gun and posters on the walls. And that was about it. We weren't on the radio or nothing. Man. We was on the radio in Memphis, but that was about it. And it was just building organically on its own. So we never had issues. From day one, we sold. Our first album went gold in 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, I still got the Billboard framed on my wall where it says 36 Mafia gold. First album goes gold in 6 months. I got that Billboard on the wall at home.
Man, what's that like? Like, you're just like, holy shit, this is happening? Like, we're
I was like,
blowing
I
up?
couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I went and bought a Dodge Viper.
There you go.
A Suburban. I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, holy shit, it was amazing.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That is awesome. So talk about some of the artists you've worked with over the years. You know, you've worked with a lot of artists and
tons,
had good collaborations.
Man. Drake, Jay-Z, Glorilla, Key Glock, Ludacris. Man, anybody you can name. A$AP Ferg, A$AP Rocky. Anybody you can name, I've worked with them at some point.
What's that like? Like
Cardi B, everybody.
Like having a lot of these people that you're obviously on that level. You think about somebody that Drake or those type of people. What is it like collaborating at that level? It's like two professional fighters fighting at that level. There's a feeling to that. I kind of experienced that.
Yeah.
In music, is it like this is cool and it has a good energy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. Like, it's amazing when you get a chance, because you don't always get a chance to work with big artists. There's some big artists out there that maybe it's one or two that I haven't had a chance to work with yet. I would have to think, but I've basically been with everybody. Kendrick Lamar. So them the two biggest. Drake, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar. Those are the three biggest. It's other ones out there. So I've worked with all the biggest ones. But to answer your question, it feels different when you're working with somebody big versus somebody that's big but not super, super big. Yeah. It feels good either way. Not taking nothing from an artist that's not super, super big. That feels great as well, because it probably feel better because you're getting a chance to help them get to the level of a big Absolutely. Artist. But what I'm getting at is getting that call feels different.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like it could be an artist that don't have a following at all, and it'll feel good getting in the studio with them, and I appreciate those calls. I love helping people out, and I love building artists that won't help. I love building artists that won't help. But when you get a call from like a Drake, Jay-Z, or something like that, Kendrick or whatever, it feels different because it puts you in a position where you feel small a little bit, but a big small.
Interesting.
So when I say that, I mean like it makes you feel like damn, this dude could get anybody in the world to produce him.
Yeah.
But he called me to do it.
Absolutely.
So it makes you feel like Like, you know, you under them because obviously they sell more records than you. You big equally. I'm equally big in some forms, you know, on some levels, but then for the most part, I'm not. I'm not a Drake. I would probably never be a Drake. You know, I don't want to be. But working with somebody like him and getting that call, which I was actually in Nashville when I got that call, and I was over my brother's Phil's house, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? It was actually a DM. And I was like, this Drake? And I was like, holy shit. And at that point, this was 2018. At that point, the group had been broke up, you know, since 2012. And I wasn't really doing nothing. I had bought a house in Vegas, just bought another house in LA, and I was just more focused on my real estate, buying a lot of properties and just producing Yellow Wolf. I was actually out here producing some stuff for Yellow Wolf when that happened. That's why I was in Nashville. So outside of Yellow Wolf, I didn't really care about music that much. I was still doing, you know, album here and there, mixtape here and there for myself, just for the fans, just to keep them happy and let them know I'm still alive. But I didn't really care. And it's like when I got that call from Drake, it was like a resurge or something. And then my career never went back down after that. It's awesome. Like once I did that for him, everybody started calling. And then it was like it rebuilt me back up bigger than ever.
Yeah. I mean, it might be weird hearing this, but like, you know, you're like a legend. Like, to me, you are. It's like legendary shit. And, you know, I like to look at things in like a creative way, in a way that like, I think I see Drake, respect, but what you've done is different because you have won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
You did win 3 Grammys. And that's a creative, 4 Grammys.
3 this year.
Okay, 4 Grammys.
In 2020.
And that's so creatively, that's like, it doesn't knock what anybody else is doing, but those are like accomplishments that...
Yeah, it's like 1% of the music business.
Yeah, it's just the best of the best. And you came from Tennessee, you know, and you've been grinding for 35 years. I mean, it's legendary shit. So when I hear you working with Drake, I'm like, yeah, I get why. Of course they would want to work with you.
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
Everybody outside of me get it.
Yeah.
Everybody, like all the fans, like, oh, yeah, they totally get it. Yeah. Like me, I didn't get it.
I get it, yeah.
And me, I didn't get it because, like I said, at that point, I wasn't really doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't doing nothing. I was just chilling. I was doing music, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't doing music for, like I said, outside of for myself, my nephews, C-6 and Yellow Wolf. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I was just like chilling. I had money. I was cooling. I was buying properties, and I was more kind of getting into that a lot. Yeah. You know, I was starting to dibble and dabble with California real estate, which is, you know, great. Mm-hmm. So, and management for other artists, helping other artists, you know, come up. So, and when I got the call, it was like, you know, I always knew he was a fan of ours because his dad's from Tennessee, from Memphis. So Drake been a 3 6 Mafia fan. I had met him before that. You know, I met him when he was young. You know, I got pictures of us together. You know, he was a young dude, but you know, we never worked together. But here and there, it would be like little hints of me in his projects. Like for instance, he in one of his second album, before one of his songs came on, he played my voice talking in an interview.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was just me talking at the beginning of it, then the song came on. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Hint.
Yeah, hint. And then it was like another album, like a little hint there. And then the next album, I was in there.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was it? Did you fly out? Where was he at for that?
I don't know where he was at. I was in Nashville. I just texted him that. I texted him the beat. It was a beat that I was going to use for myself. That me and my artist, a guy I was managing, a guy I managed named T.Y., we made. And I was gonna rap on the beat myself. And then Drake was like, he needed a beat and he needed fast. Like he was turning his album in 2 weeks. And I texted him that beat like 3 a.m. And he texted me right back in 5 minutes. He said, I'm using it. And I was like, what?
That's awesome.
I couldn't even sleep no more that night.
Yeah.
So after 2 weeks came, I didn't hear from him. And I was like, let me text him again. I texted him back. I was still in Nashville. And he said, yeah, I'm using it. And I put Jay-Z on it. And I'm like, what?
Nice.
And I was like, oh, shit. You know, he sent it to Jay-Z. Jay-Z had just did a concert. You know, and Jay-Z told his DJ guru to set up a studio in the concert venue, like backstage or something. And he was like, what? How am I going to do that? And he's like, look, I don't care how you're going to do it, get it done. And Jay-Z did a 2-hour concert, got off stage, recorded that verse, sent it to Drake at like 6 in the morning.
Damn.
And his DJ guru went did an after party, and Drake didn't get no sleep. He sat up and he waited for Jay-Z to send the verse.
Nice.
Or I think he took a nap or something. And like 5, 6 in the morning, he got the verse from Jay-Z. And they didn't even have time to mix it. They put the beat out with our name tag all the way through the song, straight from the MP3 text message.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which was great for me because you hear my name, you hear our name, both our names, you hear our name through the whole song.
Yep.
It was great. It was just the best marketing ever.
Yeah, it's like really good marketing, you know. Free marketing.
Yeah,
you know?
Free marketing.
That's awesome.
Paid marketing because I got paid for the
Yeah,
beat.
exactly.
A lot
Paid
of
marketing. Now that's cool that it worked out that way. What year was that?
2018.
2018. Okay, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
What was it like 2006 winning an Academy Award?
Yeah, man, it was great. I was living in Memphis. I had just built a house, and you know, we was coming off not coming off. We was living the success of our album, The Most Known Unknowns, and we was you know, touring and doing shows and all that, and started bringing out singles after singles out that album. That was blowing up. Stay Fly, Popping My Collar, Side to Side. We had a ton of them. And then next thing you know, that happened right in the middle of our biggest album. You know, so man, it was a great time.
So you didn't even know what Academy Award was at the time?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I knew what it looked like, but I didn't know what it was. I was, you know, just changing the channels, and I would see the gold man, and you know, I'd be like, you know, what is this? Funny part about it is when we was nominated for the Academy Award, we was nominated against another Tennessee legend, Dolly Parton.
Okay, that's cool.
You know, and when we won, Dolly Parton sent us a letter to our studio. I was like, how did Dolly Parton find where we was at? I was like, it's Dolly Parton. She can find anybody.
Right.
Security, probably Secret Service. So she sent the letter to our studio, and she said, congratulations, guys. At least it came back to Tennessee.
That's awesome.
That was all she said.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's really cool. What do you think the greatest accomplishment that you've given to music is?
Changing the sound of music. Because now everything in music sound, even country music sound like 3 6 Mafia now. You know, so...
How so?
Well, you know, the slow mid-tempo beats with the steady hi-hats, the drum rolls, and the energy behind it, the 808s, and, you know, all of that. That was like something that's a sound that we're known for. So now, you know, I hang out with Hardy a lot. Hardy walk out on stage to a beat like that.
Nice.
He be on stage dancing like us, but he a fan of mine. You know, he's my homie now, but when I first met him, he told me how he grew up listening to 3 6 Mafia in Mississippi. You know, we became friends. You know, now we hang out, but I ran Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen was actually listening to 3 6 Mafia when I walked up on him.
Nice.
In California. So, you know, a lot of music now is influenced by 3 6 Mafia, EDM. You know, a lot of EDM influence in 3 6 Mafia, a lot of 3 6 Mafia influence and remakes in EDM. remixing reggaeton, remixing everything. So
Yeah,
I would say that.
Where did the idea from that sound kind of come from? You're just kind of playing in the studio? How'd that work?
No, I didn't make it up. I just took it and added the energy to it.
Mm-hmm.
But that came from the Memphis DJs in Memphis. You know, they just kind of selected those tempos and found songs that kind of was in those kind of tempo ranges that they could play in Memphis. You know, like Too Short or something like that, and Two Live Crew or whatever. And then I just took it because I grew up on rock music, and I just took it and put the energy in it and created what we call crunk fight music. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like crunk music and rowdy horrorcore, you know, shit like that. So that's how it all came about.
Yeah, that's really cool. You know, when you first, because I remember your songs coming on the club, like back when I was, gosh, actually even in the clubs I'm like 15 or 16 years old. What was that like when, you know, you're hearing just people go crazy to your songs? I mean, you had to reach a point. There was like a first time, and then it was just a thing. What was that feeling like?
Man, it felt good, man. You know, having seeing it all go down. But I had been seeing it for a while.
Yeah.
From when I was a DJ.
Yeah.
Because when I was a DJ, I was playing a lot of my own music. Mm-hmm. You know, so testing it out and
okay.
all that. So I have been seeing that for a while.
Interesting. Yeah, I always wonder what people like go through when they're hitting success, because you know we have these emotions, we don't even really think about them much, but it's really interesting to me because what you're experiencing, most people have never experienced before. The level of success, Grammys, Academy Award, great accomplishments, and you're very level-headed. You know, it's like it's impressive, man.
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're also an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So talk about like what you're doing with real estate, other business ventures.
Yeah, so I have I'm a part owner in a restaurant in Beverly Hills. Basically the only restaurant. Well, you got Gucci. It's kind of a restaurant. It's kind of not. But basically the only restaurant on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. It's called The Hideaway. We opened there like a couple of years ago. And I own a lot of real estate homes. You know, I buy a lot of homes and I fix them up and I rent them out.
Cash flow?
Cash. Yeah, I buy them cash and then I just clean them up and rent them.
Yeah. Well, what did your family do some real estate?
My daddy did that.
I see.
Yeah, my daddy did that.
How long you been doing that for?
Since 2012.
Okay.
2011.
Yeah,
2012, early 2012, when I first moved to Vegas.
Yeah, my dad did similar things. Like he had an accident when I was 4, so they kind of lost everything, lost the house. But it took him about 10 years to build it back up. But then he started, you know, bought one house, cash flow, you know, bought other houses, cash flow. And are you doing the cost segregation for the taxes? Do you know?
What is that?
Oh,
maybe my business managers do that. What is that?
So, I mean, it's one of the strategies I have to, you know, lower the tax bill. But, you know, you can depreciate a large amount in a short period of time. I think like over 5 years. So normally it's 27 years. And let's say you buy a house and then, you know, the full value of the house you can depreciate, or, you know, whatever the full value is divided by 27, that's how much you can take off your taxes every year. You do a cost segregation, you can speed that up into 5 years. So like, I'll give you an example. Building across street, we bought for like $4.3 million, did a cost segregation. We're able to write off like $800,000 a year for 5 years. And it's a big advantage.
Super.
Yeah. And so I'm happy to share with you my guys and stuff, but if you're not doing it, man, you'll save. I mean,
I need to find out about that. I need to ask my business managers. I'm gonna ask them as soon as I leave here.
Cost segregation. I didn't really know about it until about 3 years ago, and I'm like, dang, I've been doing real estate all this time and not taking advantage of this. I mean, I would have done this to my house too, because I've been doing it like over 20. I think it's 27 years, and so it's like it's like $68,000 a year depreciation, or I could have gotten.
You can do it with the house, the house you live in.
You have to have a business, like it has to be a rental. But we were doing this as a wedding venue rental, so it would have worked. But yeah.
So if I buy, because a lot of my bigger homes that I rent, I once lived in them.
Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Like for instance, the Vegas house and whatnot. So if I move out of the house and I start renting it out, I can do it with that?
I believe so.
But what if the house is paid for cash? How did that work?
I'll still do it. So
you still do it?
Yeah, because the depreciation, the way the government looks at it, it's money that you got to put back into your house to keep it up to standard.
Yeah. So
basically what this is doing is accelerating that depreciation that would take 27 years into a shorter amount of time. And we did it with we bought an apartment complex last year too. Same thing. I think we're getting we paid $1 million for 8 unit. We're basically getting $200,000 a year, I believe it is, for 5 years depreciation, where it would have been like $30,000 for 27.
When did you buy this?
Last March.
You got 8 units for $1 million?
Not Nashville, but in Texas. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, I need to do that.
Oh man, yeah. No, I wish, but
shit.
But that's actually straight. So we try to buy. I try to buy 2 properties a year for the cost segregation thing now, just to lower my overall tax burden. Mm-hmm. You know something else? Talk to your business manager about this, but research and development credits. I've always wondered if I know you could. There's a way to get those for music, which is probably another. I'm not sure what they are this year, but they're $500,000 a year. So that you could do in the past, and you can go back 5 years. So there might be a $2.5 million write-off out there for you. I'm not an accountant, so I'm just throwing this as a friend, just telling you about.
And this would be called a what?
Research and development credit, R&D credits. You're doing research and development all the time with your music.
Yeah.
When you think of R&D, you think science, which I'm in, but it applies to almost every business.
Oh, wow.
And so for music, if a musician isn't taking R&D credits, like the accountants aren't, probably don't know about it, but it can absolutely be applied if you figure out how to do it.
I need to look into that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a to-do list for
you got you, buddy. Well,
I'm gonna give you a to-do list to give me.
There we go. Yeah. I mean, you think about this though. Our biggest expense is taxes.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. If you don't pay, you're gonna get in trouble. Yeah. So now, my concept is pay as little as I have to, but not do anything illegal. So it's we got a team of accountants that work on this, and family office, all of them taking care of it. But I don't want to break any laws. I want to stick within what's legal, but I also don't want to pay anything more than I should.
Yeah.
And
taxes. That's the crazy part about taxes is I've seen this so much in my life with other people is when you learn the ins and outs about it, it's too late.
That's right.
Yeah, for a lot of people, it's too late. There's a lot of stuff I learned. Thank God I'm still afloat, but there's a lot of stuff I learned that I wish I would have knew a lot earlier. Like for instance, the amount that they give you to put away for retirement every year. Mm-hmm. I didn't know about that. And even when I found out about that and I switched accountants, they wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why y'all didn't volunteer to tell me about this, or why you didn't see that my last accountant was doing this?
Right.
And 4 years went by where I didn't make my contributions.
Yep.
And that's a lot of money I missed.
It sure is. Yeah, accountants, my experience of them, we think of accountants as there to help us save money on taxes. Like for me, CPA, you're filing my taxes and you're going to know all the write-offs. That's not what they do.
No.
It took a long time. Took me 20 years to figure that out, man. Now I realize I got to find specialists that really, really do this. And, what I pay in the specialist saves a lot more than what I pay in taxes.
Yeah, see, that's what I need, a specialist, because, your business managers, they're going to do the basics. They're going to be like, okay, this is how much you made, this is how much you spent, this is how much you owe. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, it got to be more to it than that.
Yeah.
because like this looks like a ridiculous amount of money I'm paying right now, you know. But my manager always said, get your accountant that's willing to go to jail for you.
I don't know about that.
That's craziness.
Yeah, it is.
That's
It is.
craziness.
No, I mean, my thing is I want them to do everything by the book, but not
Definitely by the book.
but like, don't get, because I was told by a friend that was a CPA, their job is to file our taxes and have it so perfect that the defending the audit would be easy. And so they're not pushing anything, they're not adding anything, because the more you add, the more you might get scrutinized. And I'm like, well, look, if I'm not breaking any laws, I'm not worried about an audit. Like, maybe something will come up that, oh, this is off, or maybe they owe me money. I don't know. But like, I'm not worried about it unless I'm doing something illegal. So, I had to have a good talk with the new CPAs and say, look, don't play it completely safe to the extent that, you're not taking write-offs that I should absolutely take. We have a strategy laid out here. Stick to the strategy. Because if not, I mean, like an airplane. People don't realize the airplane under Trump, the first 4 years, if you bought a plane, you put 20% down on a $5 million plane, you got 100% write-off that first year.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Man, so let's see, 20% down, be $1 million down. You would pay $2.3 million in taxes on a $5 million income, and then you pay zero.
Yeah.
And so we just bought one, and now it's 60%, but it's still a nice. Basically, the down payment is what we pay in taxes.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, everything we do right now is like based on, we got to have a tax strategy behind it, because, man, they take so much money.
Yeah, man, you lose so much. Like I said, I lost, millions over the years with not knowing.
Yeah.
A lot like one of the things that really used to disturb me the most about when you pay your taxes is paying the estimated taxes.
Yes. Yep.
So now if you work a regular job, which I never had a regular job, so I don't really know how that works.
Yeah.
I know some regular jobs pay your taxes for you. I don't know how the rest don't work or whatever. But when you work for yourself and you own a business or whatever, and you paying estimated taxes on last year, which could have been a better year than this year,
Yep.
but you're still paying the estimated taxes on last year to wait and see how this year gonna go, and if they gonna send you a check back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like, what if this year don't go as good, and you sitting up here still paying on the estimated taxes of last year's good year, and you like, what? It's just craziness.
Yeah, it's so much. And then if you don't file in time, you get a 25% penalty.
Yeah.
And that's a
And
wild one.
if you off and you pay less, like they got penalties for that.
You got to have a strategy every year, a strategy. I mean, I spend a lot of time on it because it's my biggest bill.
Yeah.
I got if you got millions of dollars paying taxes, or you could pay, nothing maybe, or you could pay $500,000 off of what you'd pay $5 million on. You want to have that savings.
Yeah, and think about like my situation before, we moved here. The reason why we moved here, we still go back and forth to LA, but the reason why we did is because, the taxes 14%.
Yeah.
State.
Yeah, man.
Outside of the government. 14% state.
Highway robbery.
Yeah, so I'm paying both of those.
Yeah.
So there's no telling how much.
You're probably paying close to 50% if you look
I
at
pay over 50%.
You're paying, yeah. So, I mean, with the real estate that you buy and the right strategy, I'd be surprised if you pay over 20% if you do it right. Like, really, man.
Yeah.
You should not have to pay that much. I mean, these tax loopholes and breaks are meant for the rich. They're not meant for the average person, which is why, growing up, we don't know about these things. Nobody teaches. It's even hard to find once you're looking for it. People that will actually sit down and say, okay, well, here's the cost segregation strategy. I'd be interested to see if you could go back and start a new depreciation schedule for all your real estate, because, like if you got a lot of properties, man, like real estate is a tax strategy. You never, and the thing about real estate is, I shouldn't say you never should sell, but if you don't have, if you got a cash flowing property, you should always refi, because when you refi, you don't pay taxes on that refi. So you refi, take the money out, and not pay taxes. And you know, if you refi, make sure that refi amount, your mortgage is still getting covered by the renter. Mm-hmm. But if you can do that, man, refi, you can refi up to 80%, take the money out, and use that to reinvest.
Well, that's what I want to do. I know obviously you've seen how they said supposedly the rate's going to go down maybe 3 or 4 times,
yep.
Coming up. And I am going to do because it is one property that I did do a mortgage on, all the rest of them cash, but it's the latest one that we got. I did do a mortgage on it, and I want to do a refi because I got it when it was 6%,
yep.
6.25%,
yep.
high.
Yep.
So I want to do a refi on that, and then I want to figure out what I want to do with it, if I want to keep it or sell it or rent it out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting on the refi if you could somehow start a new depreciation schedule. I'm not sure if you can, but I mean, once you figure this out, you're gonna be like, holy shit. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna be saving. You if you buy 2 properties a year. Pick the amount. I mean, you might get an extra write-off on $500,000 to $750,000 a year now for the next 5 years. You do that 5 years in a row, 5 times 5, you're getting $2.5 million write-off every year for those next 5. I mean, it's a strategy, man.
I never knew that. That the tax advantages of buying.
There's a lot, man. That's what Donald Trump does. That's his whole thing. When people are like, oh, he didn't make any money. Well, yeah, he depreciated everything. Yeah, he knows the depreciation game.
Yeah, they was talking about, he screwed this and that. I'm like, well, he didn't go to jail for the tax situation, so obviously something he did was legit.
Yeah. No, it's legit. Like, imagine this. He buys a $100 million building. He does a 5-year depreciation schedule. I don't remember. It might be 5, might be 6. But so he's getting a $20 million write-off a year off of a $100 million building. So he can net up to $20 million and pay 0 taxes on that $20 million.
Oh.
So, I mean, you do that a few times and you're not paying taxes because you have these giant properties that you're depreciating that you don't have to, then you can refi it. And instead of selling it, then have to pay all that depreciation savings back. You refi it, take the money out, tax-free, and now you can buy more property.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a good strategy.
I recently saw a thing telling about studying tax accounting. Mm-hmm. Not to become an accountant, but just if you know it yourself personally,
yes.
Man, that's a powerful thing.
It's good specialized knowledge to have. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to see that course too because I got a great team and we talk about it a lot. But I'd love to have like a course where I exactly know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing maybe like a little small YouTube study or something. YouTube University, start there.
Yeah, I'll connect you with my family office because we have it's a fractional family office to where it's a company that does the services. So they handle all my stuff. And I pay like $9,000 a month, but what I get out of it in the tax savings alone is way more than that.
Yeah, because that's
and they handle
less than $100,000 a year, and you're gonna pay way more than that in taxes.
Yeah, they already. I mean, I the first year like 5x'd. That's was what I would pay last year, 5x the tax bill just by hiring them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll connect you. Israel's he's a really great guy. So he actually took over as CFO of my company while he's the one who found that she was stealing. Yeah. He brought him on.
And he local?
He's in Dallas or no Austin. But he comes here pretty much every month. He's got another client in Franklin, and he actually just left today, and so we spend.
Older guy.
Yeah, he's probably 40, 45. Really good, like super Christian dude. Like very very straight laced. But
how long you been with him?
Since February.
Yeah. Checking that. Hook me up with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah. So throughout your career, how have you maintained your motivation and drive?
Man, that's easy because I always tell everybody I'm my biggest fan.
Nice.
Yeah, like I'm my biggest fan. Like I got, I just actually set up because I knew I was finna come out here, and be doing some production for Young Buck's new album, and we just brought out Yellow Wolf just brought out an album. I got a couple of tracks on there, and my own, I just finished an album with a guy named Cordell, and I'm working on another album on my with a guy named Crazy Bone, and my solo album. So anyway, long story short, I set up, and it took probably a couple of days. And I went through music that I made unreleased, tracks, songs, hooks, whatever. Actually, I haven't even got to the hooks yet, just the beats. From 2008 all the way up to now, and put it all in one folder on my hard drive. I think I called it like the GOAT of go-tos or something like that. And man, it is hundreds and hundreds of beats in there, and I was just saying to myself, I was like, man, at some point I got to share this shit, but it can't just be for Paul to listen to. Like, I need to, you know what I'm saying? So the motivation is me being my biggest fan, and just always just knowing how much better I am than a lot of other people.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, I just hear like some older people in any genre kind of lose focus, and they'll be like, oh man, I'm better than that person, I can do it. They're like, come on, man, this kid is younger than you. He can play basketball better than you. Yeah. Don't try that. But in some professions, you actually can.
Yep.
And in this one, I still been kicking ass, and I like that. So that's my motivation, just the love I have for it, and just knowing that, people still appreciate it.
Yeah, so you're your biggest fan. What would you say that your mindset is? Like, what's your mindset going into, day to day?
With music or just life?
Yeah, both.
Man, shit. Basically, trying to schedule out everything and get it done, and look forward to finally taking some vacations. Because for years I didn't take vacations. Mm-hmm. I would take one here, one there, and then my lawyer told me one day, he's like Paul, like, you go buy these cars and and all this stuff, and that's cool, whatever. He said, but you don't really realize the power of a vacation. Mm-hmm. Like, I see some people. I heard somebody say the other day, one of my best friends, he gonna see this interview, you're gonna get pissed. One of my best friends talked about a new car, he had just bought, and he was like, hey, it's better than spending this money on a vacation or something. And I was like, I don't know. I said like my lawyer said, I was like, never underestimate the power of a vacation.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I go on a vacation, I'm still working as a musician. Mm-hmm. I'm listening to the sounds that's going around, and what kind of music this city loves, and what kind of instruments that they like, if it's a Congo, or whatever the case it may be, and I figure out a way to kind of bring that into my music, or just like I learned that you can find out a lot about people and what they like by simply learning where they from. Mm-hmm. So when I meet when I met you, everybody I meet, the first thing I ask is, where you from?
Yeah.
If you tell me where you from, I can tell you a lot about you.
Yeah.
That's just the kind of person I am. So it's going to always be the first. I'm going to ask you where you from before I even ask you what your name is, because I'm not good with names. I'm going to forget your name. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to remember where you from, and then I'm going to start telling you what you probably grew up listening to, what you probably like, what you probably grew up eating.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? What kind of dances you grew up doing. So that's the thing with me. I wake up and I try to figure out how to dig inside of myself and complete whatever it is in that point in my life I'm trying to complete, whether it's an album or just some back paperwork.
Yeah.
Or something. So I would say I'm just trying to figure out an extra way to free my mind.
Yeah, nice. What would you say, 4 Grammys, Academy Award. What are your goals for the next 10 years? Like, what would you like to see happen over the next 10 years?
Man, I want to finally settle down a little bit. You know, like I move a lot. You know, I probably have moved sometimes every 2 years, sometime every year. The longest I've stayed somewhere has been 4 or 5 years. That was here recently. That was the longest I ever stayed anywhere in my whole life as an adult life. So I kind of want to settle down on that and still just focus on music, but just I want to settle my life down a little more because I have a habit of putting too much on my plate, you know, and I'm sure you probably do the same thing. We all do it, you know, like, so I want to figure out a way to how to still do everything I like to do, but simplify it a little bit. You know, still do real estate, still do music, maybe another restaurant, you know, but not going through it the ways I went through it, where it's to the point where it almost ran me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The restaurant didn't run me crazy. The first one did. This is my second restaurant. First one did. The second one was easy.
Where was the first one?
It was in L.A.
L.A. too? Yeah. Well, what kind of restaurant was it?
It was like upscale American food. It was on Sunset Boulevard in L.A., which is like the most popular street in L.A.
Yeah, nice.
In West Hollywood.
That's awesome. Anything else, man, you want to bring up before we close this thing out?
Man, just I've been putting a lot of focus into my YouTube. That's been fun, you know. So
what's your YouTube channel?
Just at DJ Paul.
Okay.
DJ Paul, and been having a lot of fun doing my belling that up, doing live mixes and remixes, and you know, just different lifestyle stuff. Just did a 3-day watermelon fast.
Oh wow, how was that?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, nice.
It was cool.
What were you just eating watermelon all day?
Just watermelon and water. Yeah, and that was cool. Just came off that like a day ago. Me and my girl did that. It was cool. She actually went an additional day. So that was cool. We're going to start doing that 3 days a month. You ever did a fast?
I have. Yeah.
What kind you do?
Do like a water fast and
how long?
3 days?
3 days.
Yeah.
Just water.
Yep.
No vitamins?
I think coffee and water. I had a little coffee too.
But no vitamins?
Nope.
No minerals?
Yeah, we had some, what was this? It's been a few years. What was, there was like a little, like some packs we were putting in the water.
Actually, I knew it.
Yeah.
That's why I was telling my girl, I was like, when people say they doing just water, they're not doing just water.
Right.
You got to have something else with it.
Yeah, you got to have some type of electrolytes.
Yeah, so what we did was we bought whole baby coconuts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, drank the coconuts. Coconuts cool. And so, yeah, a lot of people I know that did it, they take like supplements or something. I don't take supplements, so.
Yeah. Nothing at all?
No, nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. I just try to find like natural. We do a lot of fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fruits and vegetables. So every day, fruits and vegetables. So, you know, I've been trying to just be as healthy as possible. I was always into the healthy food since 2012 and exercise. But, you know, here recently got more into it. You know, so like.
What was the reason? Just like, I want to get healthy or?
Just want to stay clean as possible. Mm-hmm. You know, so like I had never did a fast before in my life.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, man, you know, like I grew up in Memphis eating pork ribs and, you know, all that. And I was like, man, I think at some point I need to try to like cleanse some of this shit. Mm-hmm. You know, like, so give my body like a little break from it because, you know, we grew up being told it was 3 meals a day. Now I think that's too much. I think 2 meals a day is enough for me. You know, we stop eating after 8, and we don't eat again till noon.
Yeah, nice little fast in there.
A little fast right there. So salad, you know, and I'm going lighter on the meats now. just like turkey, some steak, taking a break from chicken, taking a break from pork. Yeah, so I miss it.
Yeah. But are you feeling better?
I feel great.
Yeah, man. It's awesome when you get like the right nutrition, coming in you on a daily basis. Pressed juice. I don't know if you're doing pressed juice. But
Yeah, we got our kitchen is full of anything you can name to make anything.
That's awesome.
We got the juicers. We got the blenders. We got everything, man. We make all kind of stuff.
Yeah, at our hospital, it's not like a regular hospital where they give you crap food. We give all the patients fresh, organic fruits and vegetables. We have organic chicken, salmon. It's very, very healthy. Our cancer patients, they drink 13 fresh pressed juices a day. We're trying to get them a bunch of, it's 15 to 20 pounds of raw organic pressed fruits and vegetables a day. Wow. So, I'm really, really into that. It's underestimated. What we put into our bodies it's very important. And
I mean, growing up, we would take care of our cars more than we took care of our body. If the check engine light came on, you have a heart attack.
Right.
You can't get the AutoZone fast enough. Like, man, look, why's this on?
Yep.
But your body, you feeling stuff. Like, I had a homie one day, we was hanging out, and he's like, man, my side be hurting me all the time, Paul. What you think? Because everybody know I'm in the healthy lifestyle, so they be asking me. I be like, man, I'm not a doctor, but I tell you one thing. I did have a situation where my side was hurting a little bit. It was maybe you just probably need to drink a little more water, whatever the case is.
Right.
It was different things. It's always something different. I was like, whatever. But they like a lot of homies. They just let it just go till it's too late.
Well, when I grew up, man, I mean, my parents didn't know anything about nutrition, so I'm like drinking Coke, sweet tea. I loved the real sweet tea, not the artificial, just like pour the sugar in.
Yeah, that's how they did it in Memphis. Thank God I never got into that. Oh, but Kool-Aid, I was pour the sugar in Kool-Aid.
Yeah, exactly. Same type of thing.
Yeah.
And, we didn't know any better. Like that's
we didn't know.
Yeah. But now, you see these eating habits. I think it's like 45% of Americans are obese. It's wild, man. Diabetes through the roof, heart
somebody
disease.
say a comment the other day. I couldn't even believe it. And it was a grown person, too. They asked, because I follow a lot of these health pages, and they asked the question, they was like, is a sugar-free drink still bad? And I was like, what? I was like, yeah, they just replace it with other shit that's sugar, worse than sugar,
right?
Fake sugars that's named something else,
right?
So, like, yes, it's equally, if not worse.
Gives you more food cravings. Do you ever use stevia?
No,
stevia is good. It's like a natural. It's not any of the synthetic crap.
Yeah,
that's been my go-to for natural sugar. But,
yeah, they always kind of be on the fence about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've read a lot. I feel pretty comfortable with it. I mean, it's stay away from the sweet and lows and the.
Oh my God! Hell no, sweet and lows, no.
Yeah,
that's probably what put my mom in the graveyard. Man, she's had that sweet and low all over the fucking place.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that though, and you have to wonder, like, they've done it for so long. If you look at the health pyramid, it's all off on what they tell you to eat. It's not even healthy. Like, and then when I see like the Secretary of Health for the United States, being 250, 300 pounds, like this guy is supposed to be telling us how to be healthy, but common sense tells us we need to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, have pressed juices, healthy proteins, those type of things. And we'll be overall healthy. Yeah. But, we've let society just get really, really big. And if you say anything, oh, you're being mean to obese people. I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. I want people to be healthy. I mean, I don't want people to suffer from diabetes or heart disease or any of these things that people suffer for. But you got to think too, how much now we're on our phones all the time. Kids are in their house. The childhood obesity is going through the roof. And, we don't do a good job, I think, as a society teaching people, how to be healthy. And instead, we're more afraid of offending them if we're like, hey, you know what? You're a little overweight. You might want to go to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I I used to always sit, well, now, not always, because obviously, like you just said, back in the day, we didn't know no better. But now I sit back and I think about, like our uncles or whoever be at the barbecue and be like, oh, yeah, boy, I just ate 10 pieces of chicken. And
Yep.
I just ate this, and I ate the cornbread, I ate this and that, and they laugh and, do a little shuck and jive, a little dance. And then next thing you know, you be like, man, my uncle got diabetes, man. He in the hospital right now. We don't think he gonna make it. And I be like, damn, like, I wonder do he remember that laugh that day he did when he ate all that chicken? Right? Like, you got to think about all that. Like, I was just at a barbecue, man, and I was just like, man, there's a lot of shit here I wish I could eat, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, you just got to know, like, it hurts, like, I pass by, when I go to the Guitar Center, I pass by Krispy Kreme donuts, and I be like, man, them fucking donuts, that hot sign. But you just got to know, like, you can do it.
Yeah.
You might knock a couple of days of your life off, but
Yeah.
it's just not, it's not good.
No, I mean, anything in moderation. Like, I might have fast food once a year, so I'll go every now. I mean, like, really, I can't.
Yeah, we all cheat. Yeah. I got cheat days.
But I mean, overall, man, we've got to really watch what we put into our bodies. I see it from a medical side all the time, like just unhealthy people, and you're like, damn. And a lot of them know it too. You're like, hey, if you keep doing this, you're going to die.
Yeah.
From the food you're eating.
Oh man, they laugh it off.
All right. Oh yeah.
They laugh it
we're
off.
Serious. We're telling you, like,
Yeah,
you don't have circulation in your feet right now. Like, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, they laugh it off. But like, it's at the end of the day, we all do something that's gonna cut us short. You know, like we all got our vices.
Absolutely.
Just like me and you, we liked wine. Like, for anybody out there watching, wherever the camera said, I'm drinking non-alcoholic wine, just so you know. But there's nothing wrong with wine or alcohol at all. It's just I was just drinking too much of it, so it wasn't good for me.
Yeah.
I don't have a job to wake up to in the morning. I woke up to a glass of wine. Yeah. So I didn't have a 9 to 5. I had a wine to wine.
Right.
So anyway, we all got our vices. So like when I would go to a bottle of wine, somebody else would probably go to a bucket of chicken or a cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And who's to say one is worse than the other one?
I mean, that is true. That is true.
If I had to take a guess, I would think cake is worse than wine, but who knows?
Yeah, I guess it all depends on how much you're doing. Right?
It's all in moderation.
It's all in moderation. I mean, I've definitely, done my fair share of very unhealthy things. So
yeah, me too.
No one to judge by any means, but it is one thing. It's one thing about what we're talking about is really like just people being healthy overall. It's like there is we want people to be healthy.
Yeah, and you just got to have the cutoff point. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I did in my past that I wouldn't dare touch these days.
Yeah.
I know some people that died recently from shit that we all used to do in our past. So, you just got to, if you know something is bad, you can't just laugh it off. Right. And then just when that day happened, and you're in the hospital, you just got to think about like, dude, I don't know if I should cry for you right now or if I just should be like, motherfucker, you remember that laugh at the barbecue, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, if they're going to live, maybe that reminder will get them out of there,
Yeah.
Remember that laugh at the barbecue. Well, one more question. What advice would you give the next generation of artists that are coming up?
Man, I would tell that's an easy one. I would just say that 95% of it is business and 5% of it is talent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
95% is business. So like doing good business.
Well, obviously that should be the common sense part.
Yeah.
But just knowing business and just, because you'll lose a lot, like you just lose a lot, not knowing, like it's still like it's in any business, it's just you just got to be smart, like in your business, his business, you guy over there behind the laptop, it's just you got to know, like even if you like a person that that's like a trainer or something. I know you say you used to train. I train Krav Maga.
Oh, nice.
I don't teach people. I just I'm a student. But you got to know like the parts in the book. Mm-hmm. The parts in the book before you know the physical parts of anything. Like you just want to know that. You just want to be smart. Like we were just sitting up here talking about learning a little accounting on the side.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, maybe while you learning how to learn that drum machine, maybe take an hour out to learn how to be smart with the money that you make off the drum machine.
Yeah, man.
Because you can make all the money. Like my dad told me this a long time ago. He's like, when I first started making all the money in 95, I told you about. When I went to go buy a house in like 96, I seen an issue where I had to pay a lot of money down because I didn't have good credit. Mm-hmm. And my dad used to always tell me, he used to be like, look, son, you can make all the money in the world. You're making a lot of money, that's cool. But you can make all the money in the world. If you don't have credit, this shit don't mean shit.
Yep.
I mean, nothing. You got to do twice the work as a person with less money but better credit. You got to pay more than them. Your down payment is going to be more than them. You're going to have to do more paperwork. They're going to give you more shit because you have an established trust. Credit is trust.
That's right.
That's all it is at the end of the day. They should just call it trust.
Yeah.
And then more people will take it serious then.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, instead of saying, like, we're not going to give you this home loan because you got bad credit, they're going to be like, we're going to give you this home loan because, nigga, we don't trust you. We really don't trust you. And if they start doing it like that,
yeah, man.
And you got to go walk out to the car, out to the bank, and your girl's sitting out there, and you be like, so what happened? We get in the house? And no, they said they don't trust me. Man. They said, what?
Yeah, that's good, though.
They said they don't trust me. So, yeah, like I had to go get my credit right. I had to go pay off $100 and something bill, some little crap, and then, they knocked off a few thousand, but I still had to pay more than my band member that moved right next door to me. About the same two houses for the same amount of money. So, like you got to have your the business side straight. Like know how to handle your money.
Yeah.
I would see guys that would get checks and go buy cars, and there's nothing wrong with buying a car. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of things that you're supposed to do before you go buy a car. Mm. And the biggest mistake that people make in the music industry is getting these big upfront advances and doing all these concerts and making all this money and not remembering that at the end of the day, like only about unless they figure out some of the stuff that we talked about earlier, but only probably 25% of your money is really yours to use.
Right. Yeah.
Really yours to really use. Like they don't think about that. Like I just saw a situation with a guy, he made $1 million and this and that, and he didn't ever think about that probably 400,000 of that got to go in the taxes. I didn't think about that.
You got to think about that, man.
You got to keep that in mind. Like if you're not a responsible person and you're not going to invest this money right, you got to just take that and put that to the side. Be like, I ain't got $1 million. I got $600,000.
That's right. That's what it is.
I got $400,000 that's in the bank that's going to eventually go to the White House.
Yeah, that's right.
I got $600,000. I don't have $1 million. Yep. And depending on what state I live in, I don't even have $600,000.
Right. Yeah, you're in California. It's
or New York.
470.
Yeah, you live in California. You got $400,000.
Yeah, exactly.
$470,000.
Yeah.
And so before you go spend $400,000 on a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or a Lamborghini truck, nigga, that's what you supposed to get a government. Because I just saw somebody do that.
Yep.
Like, dude, when you bought that money you spent on that Lamborghini truck, you supposed to get that to the IRS. I don't know if you knew that or not. Damn. You don't live in Kenya, whatever the taxes is over there. So, and he dealing with that right now. So now he got to figure out a way to do some other shit to pay the taxes. So now you finna lose the Lamborghini truck and you probably gonna go to prison.
Yeah, man.
You had $1 million where you could have just bought a cool little Lexus or whatever, or a Tesla or something, and a small house or whatever, and then just kept on hustling. But a lot of people think $1 million is a lot of money. $1 million is not a lot of money.
It's not at all, man. Not
it's
even,
not.
Not even a little bit right now.
Yeah.
You can blow through that I mean, very quickly.
Yeah. A good night in Vegas, you can go through almost $1 million.
That's right. I've never had one of those nights, but
yeah, me neither. But I've had some close ones.
Yeah,
not $1 million, but woo.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's really good advice, man. I never thought about the music industry as 95% business, 5% talent. That's excellent. You make good points on when artists get a big chunk of money. Like, you gotta put.
That's what they give you. They give you an advancement.
Gotta put it aside.
Yeah, you gotta put money to the side.
I mean, because you can't get away from the taxes.
You're not gonna get away from it
unless, like we were talking about different strategies earlier. But like, those actually take time to learn and figure out and put into strategies. It's not something you can just do on day one.
Yeah,
and you got to put the money inside. And you were talking about earlier putting money away for investments too. Right?
Yeah,
that's
so. Like, I give you a piece of advice. Not you. You are smart, but some of the people out there listening and watching, like, if you get some money, let's say whatever it is, $10,000, whatever, and let's say, for instance, let's say $100,000, whatever, the amount that you got to pay in taxes, put that to the side, put that into an investment, whether it's a CD at a bank or anything, put that into something that you'll gain a little percentage. And then once you pay your taxes at the end of the year, whenever you pay them, then you made a little money off of it.
Yeah.
You made a few dollars. You made $1,000, $4,000, whatever it is. If you got $1 million, you put $400,000 to the side in a good investment. You make you 5 or 6% off of that.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd have made some good money.
It's 25 grand. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
25 grand. Now that you take to Vegas and then you blow it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that.
But you can't.
You
It's
can,
extra
you want
money.
to, but it's free money.
Exactly.
It's free money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's better than you blowing that $400,000. Now you got to figure out if you even got $25,000 to figure out a plan to get some more money.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, people mess that up a lot. And I mean, I could say my 20s, I made a lot of money in my early 20s, and I didn't have any idea how to manage my money.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to get into that. I remember the first big check I got. I'm like, wow, what am I gonna, it's just it's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
And it's exciting, but you still got to pay the taxes at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Do you do any Bitcoin or Ethereum?
I got a little Bitcoin, and yeah, I got a little of that. Not a lot, but it might be a lot to some. The average person, it'd be a lot. But yeah, I got some of that. I don't know how much I trust it or not, but I put it like this. I was like, what the hell? I put a little bit in there, and if it go good, it do, and if not, then I probably would spend this money at Bloomingdale's anyway.
There we go. How long ago did you put it in?
I got it in 2019.
Oh, 2019. So yeah, 2019.
Maybe, no, I take that back. Probably, what year was that? Maybe in it, somewhere between 19 and 21, somewhere between there. Yeah,
well, 19 to 20, you'd be at like 5 or 6 extra investment right now. So
wherever I got it at, my they told me that I can pull some serious money up out of it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
But I never did that because they say you got to get a wallet or something. It's a lot of it's like a process.
If you have a Coinbase account, it can go directly to your bank account. So, but then you got to pay taxes on that money too. But yeah, you're doing well. I've been investing for a long time, and I do what's called dollar cost averaging, where every week I don't even look at it; just automatically goes in. So I have to pick the price. It just whatever the year's average is, I'm getting that because I'm investing every week. I've done that for a few years now.
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we give a 10% discount for the stem cell company for patients who pay in Bitcoin or Ethereum. And so
I've been seeing that around where people can buy stuff with Bitcoin and all that, and I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the future, man. It's the future. The RFK and Trump were at the Bitcoin conference 2 weeks ago, and they're both talking about making Bitcoin part of the reserve currency of the country, a strategic reserve. And so all it takes is...
it ain't going nowhere.
Exactly. All it takes is one country to put, let's say, a $500 billion investment into Bitcoin, It's got a $1.4 trillion market cap right now. That $500 billion investment would shoot it. We call it the golden candle that we're waiting on, like up 100,000 in a day. But I think it's coming. I think it'll be at like $1 million in the next 6 or 7 years, $1 million a coin.
Yeah.
So,
I knew somebody back in, I think this was 2020 or something. I think it was really good then, right?
2020 started its run in September of 2020.
Yeah, I knew somebody in 2020 that made like $500,000 off of it. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, man. It's fun, man. I love it. I love watching it just go up. It's one of those things that we were kind of early on, and like, a bunch of people talk shit for a while. We're like, no, Bitcoin, trust us. Just,
Yeah, I got a friend. That's all he talk about. He a street dude. He a gangbanger in L.A., but that's all he talk about. He on that.
Good. Well, hopefully he don't have to do that very much longer.
No, he don't do that now. But that's what he was, in the past. Now he's older. He's probably 40 years old, but that's all he preaches.
That's
Bitcoin,
good.
and I told you so. And I told you this, and everybody like, man, stop all this craziness. That's all he talk about.
But hey, I mean, you got something it makes a lot of people wealthy. It's a hedge against the dollar. The Bitcoin, there's only 21 Bitcoin that will ever be mined. Okay, that's going to be the max. So every 4 years, the cost to mine the Bitcoin doubles. So it naturally drives the price up. So it's called the halving event. The amount of blocks that they can mine is cut in half, so that doubles the cost to mine them. So the price then goes up because the miners have to hold the Bitcoin before the price is, as the price goes up. And so, with only 21 million ever to be mined, that's all you can ever mine, is something like the dollar. They just print money. So that's an inflationary product. Bitcoin's a deflationary product. So theoretically, it could be more valuable than gold because you have something that you can still go mine more gold, but we know that the cap on Bitcoin is only going to be 21 million.
Yeah.
And so about 5 million Bitcoin right now are lost as well. People lost their wallets. So that makes it even less. And so, yeah, I mean, if all it takes is one country going in and Bitcoin is now, $1 million a coin, maybe not just if one country goes in, but, a few countries start doing the strategic reserve currency, like that, it's going to be flying.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed, we'll both do well.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, man.
I don't keep that much of an eye on it because, I don't know how to take it when it goes down.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, when I first got it, somebody told me, they was like, look, like the person that talked me into getting it, they was like, just put it in there and just go with the flow. Like, don't look at it every week, this and that. Just put it in there and just trust me. And that's just kind of what I did.
That's good, man. Well, you're going to be doing good, or you're already doing good. So just give it a few more years and, look at it in like 3 years.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, I'm doing really good.
Yeah. So. When this interview come out, I'm going to mark the day that this interview come out. I'm going to 3 years from that day.
I love it. Let's do it. Hey, you'd asked me 3 years ago, I would have told you the same thing. And you would have been doing good too.
Yeah.
So, well, man, it's been great talking to you, man.
Yeah,
it's
you
great
too,
to finally
man.
meet you. And I'm just honored to be able to interview you.
Yeah, man. Ounce told me, he was like, man, he's a good guy, man. Somebody you should know and really smart guy. So nice meeting you too, man.
Pleasure, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.